Hey guys, it's Jason Love with Jason Loves Life. I think I missed one of these video days, but it's probably not that big a deal because basically I just rant. So I'll probably end up missing a few of these. I'm trying to decide if it actually makes sense for me to do these recordings. Now I do find them very therapeutic in a way. I mean, I haven't really gone through a lot of them, but like once in a while it's cool just to like rewatch and kind of see, sort of if I'm actually on track, I'm doing what I'm supposed to. Now I'm excited to say that I recorded a test podcast, which you have, if you read the blog, it's actually up on the blog at www.jasonloveslife.com. I would add a little thing, but I don't have time probably to edit it tonight. So you'll have to just imagine it. Just www.jasonloveslife.com. It'll be in the show notes. So anyways, I posted it there, and I actually recorded my first podcast, which is basically an intro. Now I'm just waiting for, I have to go through and edit it, which shouldn't take too long, and I might actually even have my wife do that. So I have to edit it, and then I have to add like an intro, which I picked up the music I like, and at least the intro that I'm going to stick with for a while. Now the problem is like, I listen to other people's podcasts and I'm like, oh man, their intro is really cool, but I find it really important to have a short one so it gets right to the point. So that's one thing. And then second is I'd rather kind of, I guess, get it out. There's Everett. I'll be right back. I'm back. Okay. His pacifier fell out, and not to go on a long tangent, but one of those things where I'm not sure if it's better to let them cry and sort of learn to soothe themselves. Some people say, and other people are just like give them the pacifier because, why have them go through all that distress? So I just give them the pacifier right now, kind of depending. Sometimes I try to let them soothe himself a little bit, and if it doesn't work. But anyway, so there's a chance he could cry again. I don't remember what we were talking about since it's been a few minutes. So I recorded the podcast, and I'm a little bit like, do I want to make a really fancy intro? I think I'm just gonna do something basic. Maybe once I get it, if I get inspired. Otherwise, it seems silly to like waste a day trying to create a cool intro when we could just post it and then down the line create a new intro that, if I like more, I can change. So let's see. And I actually, like I said, I actually did a podcast with the womb mates, like a womb, like a woman's womb, the womb mates, and it is I can't think of their last names. They're twin brothers, and their last name is Ford, and I know one is James and Jason. Okay, I remember Jason because it's the same name as me, so it's easy. And James, and because they don't use their names like on Twitter, I don't end up like it takes me. I have a hard time memorizing names, anyways. But then like on Twitter, it's super hard because I have all these friends who do webcomics, but I actually don't know like their first names, which is very weird now that I think about it. Because it's not in there, they don't ever use it. Like I never see it, and so I'm happy to say actually one of them ordered my Kickstarter, and I kind of remember them. They kind of contacted me when I first was doing Kickstarter, saying, "Hey, we should record a podcast." And I wish I would have done it, when I was still doing the Kickstarter campaign because it would have been a good time. But the problem was I was swamped with trying to like figure out what I'm doing, and then I was trying to advertise, and then I was also I was actually at that time still working my part-time job, and I think I was working a lot at third shift, so I slept all day, and then it was very rough. And then doing the actual business, and so now that I got I'm not necessarily making shouldn't say I'm making a good living, but I'm surviving with just the magic, so I'm cutting out the part-time job I cut out a few months ago, trying to focus on just blogging, the comic book, and then continue doing the magic stuff, but I haven't really, don't have it like set up for long term, if that makes sense. So like if I was gonna do it long term, I would be fixing my website. I need to get a better video together, which I might end up doing anyways, just like a quick one. If I was gonna plan on doing this for another 20, 30 years, like then I would actually be working on it. But and I do have a decent resume, so I could do it, but I really would love to get into being a comic book producer, working on original stuff as an artist, and kind of focusing on a theory they call 1,000 true fans. And the philosophy is if you can get 1,000 true fans who are dedicated and willing to pay, like $10 a month for whatever you put out. So let's say I can get to the point where I can put out I'd say comic book, but you can't really get a comic book for $10. That's kind of a high price. Let's say you put out one new piece of merchandise. Actually, two, like $10 is just so. Like let's just say $50 for the year. They're willing to buy something cool, or even just original art. If you can get 1,000 people to buy $100 worth of original art or prints, that's $50,000 to $100,000. Now the problem is when you're dealing with comic books, you really have a low price. So like let's say you're selling comic books and you had 1,000 people who would constantly buy your comic book every month. And let's say you could do it that fast, which I can't. But if I brought in some extra people, I could. And probably if we focused down, like we made enough money, we could probably do. I think like the fastest rate, if we really got going, would be a page a day. Right now it's several days. It kind of just depends on the page, and it's gonna depend then too. But let's say you got a page a day, so yeah, you could do a comic book a month. But if you did the finances, you would see you're really only making like $1 or $2 a comic book if you print in huge volume. So let's say you had a $2 ours is black and white too. So let's say you could get it for $1 printed, which is it depends on how many you're gonna print. You sell it for $2, so you're making $1. So even with like 1,000, that's only $1,000 a month, and that would be really hard to live on only $12,000 a year. So really you'd have to have like something ideal would be like original artwork that would take a couple days to make, and then somebody buys it for $50 to $100. Probably wouldn't really take it'd take a couple hours, but you'd be working on the comic book and then the original artwork. So anyways, if you could find 1,000 true fans and find something to sell them or get them somehow to you should be able to make a living is sort of the point. And I mean, I know all my Twitter followers aren't necessarily fans. They're not going to give me money, but I mean, I'm at 5,000 Twitter followers. I think I'm at like 600 or 700 Facebook fans, so that's pretty good. I know a lot of them are like my actual friends who helped me out at the beginning to like get my numbers up. I was sort of promoting it as like, hey, you should help me out. So I know a lot of them, while they're supportive, aren't necessarily comic book people, but they, out of the goodness of their heart, said, okay, we'll like your page, help you promote it, just because we know you. I've helped them out with stuff, some of them, and went to school with them or whatnot. So we have a relationship. So anyways, I don't really know, I guess, what my point is, because I got sort of sidetracked with the baby. But I guess to end this, I won't be posting every day. I'm trying to decide too. I've been considering doing a webcomic with this Jason Loves Life website because it has Jason Loves Life. But I also actually bought a domain that might work instead, and it would basically be a journal. But it seems kind of silly to have a journal that's not in Jason Loves Life, since it literally is Jason Loves Life. Although I could do a web comic, or even I was thinking about maybe even doing like a web animation, like a comic, but have it be motion comic. I could do that on the site and then just publish that a couple times a week in a separate area. I don't know. I'll think about it because the RSS feed. I don't think people who are interested necessarily in comics necessarily want. I'll have to see what other people have done. Like, I know Remind. I don't think they do it anymore. I know. I think that guy's name's Jason as well, but I can't remember his last name. He had his blog, which is now a different blog, on his webcomic site. So maybe that's what I'll do. It wasn't like a blog journal, but it kind of makes more sense in my case because I have that title. So anyways, just food for thought. If you have any thoughts on it, I would love to hear it. You can just post it in the comments below. Otherwise, it's just something I'm going to kick around for a while, and rewatching this video will help me sort of get it out all in frame of mind. So have a good night. I will see you guys, if not tomorrow, in a couple days.